Welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel. Been a few things going on in the world of Florida State in the last 72 hours or so. And I called my friend Jesse from Plant the Spear, who does a phenomenal job on his show, really dissecting things in a way that's so necessary these days, where I think some of the bigger outlets are sometimes afraid to do that. And Jesse always does a great job with that. And Jesse and I have twice now an issue where we start BSing for an hour and forget to hit the live button.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited to have Jesse on. We're going to really dive into this transfer portal talk. Maybe hold some opinions here and there. Ask you that. We'll talk about it. But Jesse, I'm what you described on your show. I think when you opened the other night, we got Ralph in the house real quick. Ralph had this chat the second I created the live stream yesterday, ready to go for us. That's how good a brother he is.
Ralph's the man.
He's the man. He's the man. Him and I are already making plans to meet up in Alabama for the Alabama game. So hopefully you go there too, and should be close. But Jesse, I'm getting to be the type now where if the weather is a little too hot for me, it's Mike Norvell's fault. If the red light doesn't go fast enough, it's because Mike Norvell's our coach. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm at the point now, like, I've never had an off season, and please give me your opinion too. I've never had an off season where I've told myself nothing is going to excite me. Even last year, coming off 2-10, I was like, all right, I'm going to do the wait and see approach. I'm going to see what Gus brings to the table, being the veteran he is. I really like Tony White at Nebraska. Now, this coaching staff doesn't excite me. This admin, I've rambled about that for a long time. Transfer portal talk, man, we're really bargain basement shopping. And no disrespect to those players. I totally get it. But 3-4 years ago, those were not the type of guys we were bringing to Florida State. And I understand numbers have changed. Money has changed. And it's so hard to give an educated opinion. NFL, we could do that. We could say, I don't want Tua because Tua's not worth this much more than this quarterback. And vice versa. Because we know all the numbers in the NFL. College, we don't know the numbers. Was I interested in DJ Lagway and we talked about it? Yeah, I was interested. I don't know if I want him at 3 times the price as some of these other quarterbacks, 3-4 times. I knew he was going to command more. I didn't want to sink the whole budget into DJ or half the budget or fraction, 1/4 of the budget into him. So I don't know if they were close in price. I was interested. So, man, I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. What's your take on the current situation with the portal talk? You did a great job on your show talking about the coaches. And for the record, Jesse is the much more positive but honest, but let's do a wait and see approach still. Like when I saw the quarterback coach we hired, I was like, assistant wide receiver coach. If Florida State's our quarterback coach, I understand it's Gus's QBs, but that doesn't sell anybody on coming here. So what's your take on what's going on lately? Any direction you want to go with it, man? Just please, floor is yours. Welcome. Thank you for coming on again, by the way.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. I always love talking Florida State. Love hanging out, talking with you as well. Yeah. Obviously, it was a really fun time to catch up at the NC State game last year. The game wasn't so much fun, but the tailgate was and having fun. So I appreciate you having me on it. But no, I think you hit the nail on the head, right? I said on our show a while back where I was like, man, I just don't know that I've had in my entire Florida State fandom an offseason that just felt this uninspiring. This just kind of blah. You know what I mean? Like you said, last year, we're coming off 2-10. It's a worse record, but you at least had, all right, you got Gus, you got Tony, you got some real new changes. This year, like it's just, Gus and Tony. And it's like, so you come in this year and you replace one thing here, one thing, you promote your assistant wide receivers coach to the quarterback, like you said. And I understand that's a Gus thing where he does the quarterbacks. I get all that. But it's an analogy that I use all the time. It feels like you're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Like you're making moves, but the ship's still moving in the same direction and it's downward. And that's the painful part about it. Now, I do, like you said, I try to be an eternal optimist.
In a good way. But, I mean that.
Yeah, but I mean, we can call it like it is. And I think that when you go into this, I want to give everybody a fair chance, right? I don't know that Austin Tucker guy isn't going to be the next quarterback whisperer, right? I don't know that these changes that they're making. I like the running back hire, the coach hire. I like some of these hires. And so I want to give them their fair chance. But I think as far as needle moving moves that they've made this offseason, you just really haven't seen it. And then you come into the most recent news, as if things weren't kind of bad enough, or you're possibly going to lose out on the Twins now. I know they're trying to negotiate that. And then you sign another quarterback that's kind of a just a mid quarterback. Like I said, we actually dropped an episode earlier today kind of covering all the latest news. And the thing I talked about with this quarterback, Ashton Daniels, transferred in from Auburn, I thought that would have been an okay quarterback too, but it sounds like he's going to be QB1. He comes in,
it is.
He just loses the job to Sperry or something like that. But it feels like, you look back to DJU, a guy that kind of got ran off from Clemson, went to Oregon State, not a high profile program, did okay, moved on. No one really wanted him, but we took him thinking we could kind of fix a broken quarterback. Then it doesn't work. Then you bring in Gus, a different guy. You go get Tommy, a guy who transferred out of UCF, went to Boston College, was okay on a bad team. We took him again, thinking we could probably fix another broken quarterback. And so now you're like, all right, we're going to rework the front office. We're going to spend. The rumor was $2 to $2.5 million on a quarterback. Maybe we're finally getting serious about the most important position on the field. Then
we saved them bundle.
Right. And then you go out and you sign Ashton Daniels, who the rumor is right now it's sub $1 million contract. And he was at a bad program at Stanford, wasn't particularly good there. Then he goes to Auburn, doesn't win the starting job over Jackson Arnold, who got benched because he was terrible. And now we're taking him again to try and fix another broken quarterback. And the problem I have with that is this current staff, what I just talked about, has not shown you the ability to fix broken quarterbacks.
Correct.
So going back to the same well, again, man, as the famous saying goes, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. This is now year 3.
That's coaches for you, though.
Over and over, right?
Coaches don't think that way.
It's a pride thing. They think they can always do it. Yep.
The most stubborn people No, it's different for me. It's different for me.
Right. I can fix this one. Yeah. Maybe that one, if he not got banged up, he'd have been okay. And things
I saw something on film. It's boom. I know what it is.
Right. And
quick fix.
And I want to make an important point because, like you said, it's no disrespect to the players. They are, they are what they are. They're committing to Florida State at a bad time, right? They deserve credit for being willing to do that. Of course, they're getting paid to do so, but they probably have other offers, so they're coming here.
Right.
And I don't want to be completely negative because I do see some bright sides to the Ashton Daniels kid when you talk about what he needs to be in Gus Malzahn's offense. It's funny because I had said on our show, I told Michael, my co-host, that I was like, dude, I'm going to read you before we knew about the commitment. We planned our show ahead of time. And I said, I'm going to read you my notes for Ashton Daniels when I thought he was just a small factor. I said, why? He's just a bigger version of Tommy. Good runner, bad passer, doesn't make sense. And then we find out he commits. And so now I dig in a little bit farther and he's a good runner. He's a bigger body than Tommy. He's more durable. I like his running style better, but he's still not a great passer. And so if he loses that mobile ability like Tommy did, you're just stuck with another bad quarterback. And so it's hard to find hope. You got Deuce back. So you were thinking, man, we must have a big answer at quarterback. This was not the big answer that we were hoping for. And so it's just been a really up and down off season. And, to kick it back to you on this, I feel where you're coming from. Like, it just feels like you're sitting at the bottom of Mount Everest looking up and trying to figure out how we're going to climb this. And we don't have a plan. And it's hard to find hope for that. And hope's not a strategy, to be fair. But it's just hard to find hope in that,
No, I completely agree. I told people when they were like, oh, we just got to get a quarterback to fix things. First of all, we needed a lot of help. So I guess I'm of the point where, hey, we can spread the money out and make the roster better because we need a lot of help. We're not like I hate to do it. We're not Miami where, man, just plug in that quarterback and we pretty much got it covered.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to work. So there was no reason to invest crazy amount. You don't have to be great in Gus's offense, but the only time he's ever truly won was with a great quarterback. So I really crack up when people say, oh, he doesn't need that. Ask him how Cam Newton was for him.
Yeah. I mean, the Nick Marshall's the only kind of oddball there. But again, you're talking about one quarterback that had success in a 20-year quarterback history, right?
Right.
And he wasn't even good the next season either. Now, to your point, I think you do make a good point. Like when you talk about the Calandria kid, from what I talked to a UVA source of mine that I know, and there was some stuff there where they said he just wasn't really great for the locker room. Not that he was like a cancer, but he wasn't great. Yeah. He was the kind of guy who would run for a first down and then step out 2 to 3 yards before the first down. Things like he's to me, he's basically a slightly better passer version of Tommy Castellanos, right? Undersized guy, 6 foot, whatever weight he is, turnover prone, has a lot of turnover problems. They're saying he wanted like 3.5 million. I am proud of this staff for not taking that bait, right?
And bullying us. He bullied
right.
That group bullied, not him personally, but his team did.
Right. And so, like, as bad as it may feel to take another bargain bin quarterback, I would rather them not overpay for a mid quarterback and go invest that money somewhere else. Because, like you said, the quarterback doesn't have to carry the team in Gus Malzahn's offense. He just can't be the bottleneck like Tommy was last year. And so I think, that extra $1.5 million you just saved, you need to go put it in the trenches because, the running back commit was nice. You've signed a couple other guys, but you need players in the trenches, and you've got 2 so far. I don't know how great starter quality they are. I think the center is. We can talk about that in a little bit. I think he's probably okay. But man, you need some trench players. You basically don't have a defensive line right now, other than Kevin Wynn.
Yeah. So who does it matter? If we can't stop a team's offense, I don't care if you have Tom Brady back there.
Right. And you look at the playoffs.
I think they're seeing that, like Garrett, and be like, listen, man.
Garrett, exactly.
What's and I said this before. Some headlines today said this in case anybody questions me. Garrett's here for the long haul, at least right now.
Yeah.
Mike is in maybe not immediate, but definitely more of a shorter picture. That's
yeah.
But anyway,
no, it makes sense because
they're of 2 different. Like, I don't think Garrett was like, man, let's look at DJ Lagway and look at this kind of money. I think Mike is like, yeah.
Probably because, Mike has a thing for quarterbacks that do good against his particular team.
Of course. I mean, you saw how his reaction was at the press conference when they asked him about DJ. And I think from a PR thing, Mike was like, oh, man, he might buy me a little because his name.
Yeah. Oh, he would have by far, he would have been the most talented quarterback Mike Norvell has ever signed. And it would have looked good on paper. The problem is we saw him play at Florida, too. Now, could that have been he was hurt and a product of that system? Maybe.
And, I was going to say his coaching was not the best there.
Yeah. And I also think it's interesting when you talk about the Garrett thing. Well, when you talk about Mike, there had to be some kind of guarantee that he's going to outlast Mike's tenure. If Mike were to get fired, because we talked about, the interesting thing is, how do you judge Garrett's performance? Because he's already coming in with one hand tied behind his back. He has to try and lure in high-profile talent to kind of a dead man walking situation. You're going to have to overpay for a lot of these players and things like that. Right. And we don't have, we're not paying $4 million. This is crazy to say. We're not paying $4 million for a quarterback like Duke is. And so I think you can see some immediate impact from him in the transfer portal, retention, and things like that. But I think, his role is something that you're going to see the results of in 2 to 3 years. And the question is whether Mike Norvell is going to be here for that or not.
No, I'm sure he has some guarantees there.
Yeah.
Because he's not working for Mike.
He has to outlast him.
And but he's not working for Mike. It's not a product of you ride with Norvell. You're here because of him. Well, in a way you are, but you know what I mean? Like, he's here as in Florida State and athletic department hired him, not Mike Norvell.
Yeah. And to be fair, I will at least say, to be fair to Florida State, they're behind the 8 ball in making these changes, right? But a lot of programs are. There's a lot of programs that haven't really got GMs and stuff like that. So it's a new era. So they're going to have to figure this out on the fly and building this staff and everything, the off-field staff and all that stuff. They're going to have to build that up. But hopefully, the goal we talked about when we first heard about this was like, hopefully you can put enough structure in place to where when you do make that change, it makes it a much easier change. Like, a lot of times in the NFL, you can change coaches and you expect results the next year because you didn't lose half your players. Like Iowa State, I think, got down to literally like 16 players. Yeah, and so
and half who's going to come in? Team is in the portal,
right? And so who's going to come into that and expect them to win games next year? You literally have to start over from ground zero. Yeah. And so what I'm hoping is, at least with having that separate from this, when they do make a change, you can retain players. You can kind of get to a faster start under the new staff.
And I think some stuff, I mean, obviously Norvell was in the room, but we're in a different era in college football but we're still not where coaches are used to going to a school and being told, this is your GM. Yeah. Which is a big holdup with Lane Kiffin at some schools. That's the new world we're in. I'm hoping that becomes the norm.
Yeah.
Because deep down, I just want John Garrett to build the roster for the next coach. That's what I really want. I don't want it for keep Mike, because I just think it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And so it does,
it does feel like with the moves they made staff wise this offseason, that they're kind of like, this is my personal opinion, but I kind of feel like the administration is at least like, you've had enough rope. We cannot continue to give you rope. Like, we'll give you strands, but we're not giving you rope. You are at the end of what you get. And so we have to make plans that if we fire you, we can't put some big expensive new coordinator on the books. We can't do these long-term contracts for position coaches. You're seeing, I think the administration has finally woke up to the fact that, like, we might have to fire this guy coming up. And so you need to put kind of circuit breakers in place. I don't either. I don't think they had any plan.
At least that's how it's come across. I think they really thought with these new coaches we were going to get 7-8 wins.
Yeah, I think they never planned on it not working out. And to me, that's wild, because in every situation, when you saw 2-10 was possible under your head coach, you should have planned that this could have not worked.
You should have had a red button emergency plan ready to go.
1,000%.
I can't believe they never did, but I'm not surprised, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Because this program, but it is what it is. Like, whoever comes, I'm gonna root. I'm gonna support. I shouldn't have to qualify that. But I kept telling people, man, if you're expecting a big offseason after retaining this guy, I got waterfront property for you in Arizona. Like, if I love Florida State, if someone came to me today and said, should my kid go there? I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Because I'm an honest
Unless
guy.
he's playing baseball, maybe. But
well, okay. or play for Luke, because I think Luke's going to be a good coach. But I just think if you have aspirations for the NFL, this is not the place to be. His offense is not the place. That's why DJ threw me off for a loop, because
why? What sense did it make from him?
The big reason he's leaving Florida is he doesn't want to run. He's not a big-time runner, which was what Buster Faulkner wants. And you have to run for Gus.
What quarterback have we put in the NFL? So, like, why would that's the thing about DJ, is it made less sense for DJ to come here than for us to take
coming here for
DJ.
the reasons he left Florida. That's what it is. I mean, now you had to entice Deuce Robinson to stay. Newsflash, people, he could still enter the NFL draft if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, I'm sorry, after a change of heart, my stock was higher. I don't know. I don't think
I saw that quarterback y'all signed.
Yeah, I saw that's not the guy I was showing around campus yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. That's what it is. My one hope is, since you're paying him considerably less than the other two guys, and the Calendria guy did not excite me, because he was good in Dan Mullen's offense at UNLV, but Dan's good with quarterbacks. At Virginia, he struggled.
Yeah.
We've been bad enough in the ACC. I'm not saying he's not going to be better now, down the line, but for the way that young man was acting, I didn't want him. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze by far, not for what he was asking. And we forget, man, that we're talking portal quarterbacks. We hype these portal quarterbacks up, but these are the ones that are available.
Yeah.
It's not like you have, Garrett made a good point yesterday when he said, everybody is in the portal, in my opinion. But that was a quote. That was a good quote. The trenches are not going to be there this portal season. It hasn't been to begin with. This might be the least one. But, hey, I want to just give a shout out to a couple people in the chat. Ralph, we said, what's up, too? Good dude. Buddy Chris, for every step forward we take 2 steps back. I was going to say 8, but you're being
sure generous. Feels like it.
Yeah, we can get into this, man, a little bit. Yesterday's press conference. Oh, boy. I had no intentions of I get it. Yeah, that's the thing with Gus's offense. It's not very quarterback friendly. We are portaling. Yeah. But that's the position we're in right now. Now, like, if we ever became a really good roster and it was that 1 year that quarterback was available, I think Florida State would consider spending 4 or 5 on a quarterback that 1 year.
Yeah.
Don't make a habit of it, but say, man, this quarterback we can't pass up on.
Yep.
Whatever our current roster situation is at quarterback, like, this is a year where it makes sense. There was no reason it made sense. Like, like when everyone says, the boosters got to get to this program right now. It's like, I'm not saying they won't, but then I understand if they say, like, if you have a financial advisor, he's losing money for you. Are you going to give him money? That's what Florida State fans feel like. You asked me for this crazy amount for Usman Kromov for 2 carries in a game.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want to give money to someone who's wasting your money. These guys didn't get in this position by just throwing money away. No, I get that. They might be saying, we're saving our money for the next coach. which is what a lot of Florida fans did with Billy.
Yeah,
So,
you're definitely right. And I think the problem right now for Florida State is like we knew this was, I mean, anyone except the administration apparently knew this was going to happen. Like when you brought back the kind of a dead man walking coach who no one has confidence in, the one thing I had harped on all offseason is like, yeah, you're going to cost some money to fire him, but it's going to be expensive to retain him because good luck getting NIL donations. And, there was a national columnist, and I forget who it was to give him credit, but he had said something about, I think Florida State needs to understand that it's probably going to cost more in the long run because you're going to get nickel and dimed by NIL, overpaying NIL because of the situation that you're in. And when I say nickel and dime, we're talking about thousands upon thousands of dollars, right?
You talking about paying the players or just what fans?
Yeah, like this is exactly what we're seeing play out right now. So you look at where Florida State, when they walk up, when they come up, they're the casino, right? And when they come up to the gambling table, they don't have any house money behind them. It's all kind of a show, right? Dog and pony, a smoke show. Because these kids come in and they go, look, you're not winning games. So people don't necessarily want to come here. And I hate this pains me to say about the university that I love.
True.
But I also know that not only are you winning games, you haven't recruited well enough to have someone where you don't care whether I leave or not. You need me more than I need you. And so why wouldn't these players squeeze us for money? It might make us mad, but they have no reason not to squeeze us. And you see the Twins do it. You're seeing, I think, what's the other defensive tackle that we have that's coming back? The word is that Daniel Lyons is renegotiating his NIL. So, like, you're going to get squeezed by every single player. And so it's going to eat up your budget
penalty
and
for
cost
being
you in the long run.
There's a penalty.
Exactly.
I almost said it, another word.
We're playing the suck tax.
Yes, suck tax, yes.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And if you're a portal kid and you're saying, all right, Florida State's giving me $100,000, Ohio State's giving me $100,000, and you're fine with it. Let's say you're fine with that number. Man, you suck, Florida State. I want $300 from you.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I think fans are trying to say to themselves is, oh, we just got outbid. We just got outbid. And in their mind, they can live with it. Trust me, we're losing guys right now probably for less.
Oh, I'm sure.
Some schools.
I'm sure.
Because deep down, these kids want to go. These young men want to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
We're not getting guys drafted.
No, and that's a bigger conversation, more than NIL, more than losing.
Yeah, that doesn't sell either.
Yeah.
I mean, John Walker, I don't know what the numbers were with both schools. If he can't call me today and say, should I go to Florida State or Ohio State? Oh, gee, let me think. And people might say, oh, you're a hater. You're becoming a hater. No, like, I always say you give an honest answer.
Yeah.
Ohio State, that's why Miami fans are like, oh, Jeremiah Smith sold us out. Had you seen, besides the money, he would have got crazy money either school. Have you seen how many Ohio State receivers have gone in the first round lately?
Yep.
You think he doesn't see that?
Yeah.
Just his ultimate goal?
Yeah, and Miami wasn't good at the time either when he signed with Ohio State. Yeah, and so it's that's the pipeline. It's what you see. Yeah. And like for Florida State, I mean, most of the people that we put in the NFL were like 1-year rental transfers that you pretty much knew were going to be good when they got here. There just hasn't been that pipeline. And, if there's anything that the playoffs have taught us watching them this year is like it is very crucial to invest in the trenches. And that is like the one thing that's making Miami as relevant as they are is they have dominating play in the trenches. And, I've long said this about Florida State.
So every school that's still in the playoffs.
Right. And the thing that I've long said about Florida State, and maybe this is just my opinion, but it feels like for about the last decade or so, probably about since Jimbo left, it feels like Florida State, and this was during the later years of Jimbo too, when we had bad offensive line play and stuff like that. We were still okay with the defense. But it feels like a program like a Georgia or Miami even or Ohio State is built from the inside out, right? They start with the trenches, they build out. That's how Georgia can go win 2 national titles with a former walk-on quarterback, right? Stetson was better than people give him credit for. But Florida State always feels like it's built from the outside in. We have 100 skill players, DBs, running backs, wide receivers. We got those coming out of our yin-yang, but we rarely have dominant like offensive linemen
under Mike.
Under Mike. Like so
he's
under
just
the
not
past
good
6,
at recruiting.
8 years. Right. And so it's like we are kind of built backwards, and that's why our success is so unstable, right? Georgia they always got good trench play. So no matter who they put at the skill positions, they're going to be pretty good. Clemson. Yeah. Perfect example. Clemson has other than I know they had a bad season last year. Other than Florida State and Miami, Clemson has out-recruited the rest of the ACC so wide of a gap that even when they have a bad year, they're still able to do good in the ACC like 2024, right? We just haven't had that. And so we have so much inconsistency.
I care more about our defensive line than our quarterback situation.
1,000%. 1,000%. We have no answers right now.
That's the number one focus of fans, and I get it. It's the position people think about the most. That's why I love Corey Clark, but when he kept saying, "Oh, just get a quarterback, no, man.
No.
It doesn't matter who we're bringing in a quarterback. With this defense, we're potentially fielding next year. Like,
yeah. I mean, well, and also to your point about the trenches, when you talk about that, like you look at Penn State, and I know people like.
I'm back.
Okay, I was like, let me just feel some dead air. But what I was gonna say is like you look at Penn State last year. I'm not a fan of Drew Aller or whatever his name is. I don't think he's that good, right? They still made the playoffs and won a couple games with a bad quarterback. Notre Dame, Riley Leonard was not a great quarterback. He was a runner.
No, Riley was a dog though.
Right, but like they made the playoffs. So it's not as simple as a good quarterback. It's what you put around them.
Of course.
And if you don't put it around them and you don't have a good quarterback,
field.
Exactly. And if you don't put the pieces around him and you don't get a good quarterback, then you have FSU the last 2 years.
And I said for years, as great as Jameis was, and it was so awesome to watch him in action, that defense, I don't know if we win a national title without that type of defense.
Yeah.
That was elite as elite gets. Someone asked, Michael Jones asked about, are we getting the Twins and Williams back? Williams, I think, is gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Twins are in negotiations because that's the world we live in. And Little Jr. Announced today he's going in the portal.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Going in the portal. I don't.
Hopefully, he takes his missed tackles with him.
I just think he played hard, so I can't say anything.
He was a dog, man. He just forgot he had arms a lot. Like you can wrap up if you want.
Ralph wants to know, is Ashton coming here to save coaches' jobs? Hopefully not. Someone had the funniest tweet last night on Twitter, or obviously on Twitter. It said Ashton Daniels can go down in Florida State history if he's the coach responsible, if he's the quarterback responsible for getting Mike Norvell fired.
I know, right? Like DJU couldn't do it. Tommy Castellanos couldn't do it. Like we have had the butt of the butt, and now
I don't
like
want Mike to have nice things now. So part of me gets that. Like I don't want that because
he's in a win-win situation. He's either going to win games or he's going to get Norvell potentially fired, and we'll love him either way.
Right, and that's the same exactly. So any quarterback would have. That's why DJ was somewhat appealing to me. I'm like, if we can get the DJ Lagway of this potential, we're gonna have a fun year, or we get Mike fired. I don't think he's on the hot seat going into this year. I've gone on record saying that. A lot of people say, how can you say that? I said the way they slow played the general manager move, he shouldn't only be here 6 days yesterday in that press conference. Yeah. If it's a guy so I think they're doing everything they can to find their excuse to keep Mike for 27 too.
I think they will. I do think they will. I think they're going to let these things get in place, you know what I'm saying, and settle a little bit, and then they'll be willing to make that change. But no, I think so too. Unless it's just like, and I mean, I thought they were going to fire him after Stanford, but unless it's just god awful bad, like a 2-10 season again, then I think they don't have a choice, because I think Florida State fans would literally bring out the pitchforks and torches and go to Tallahassee with it. But other than that,
what's worse, I think that or apathy?
We're here. I think apathy.
I'm in apathy.
I'm in apathy.
Like, I'm in it. Like, if Florida State loses, man, it just doesn't seem to affect me right now under this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm going to ever root for us to lose. I could never do that, but it just doesn't bother me.
Yeah. You just come to expect it.
I expect it. I expect Mike to do stupid things. I expect us not to have the talent that, like, one thing I said in the beginning with Mike was, in a lot of ways that we made up for talent was hard play, unified locker room, stuff he just doesn't have in the tank anymore as a coach.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned it earlier. We really didn't talk about it. The press conference from yesterday that never should have happened for many reasons. It's just Florida State and PR just have not been. They don't know the definition of each other.
They don't make it easy on themselves for sure.
They don't make it easy on themselves. Like the month of December where they went radio silent. One of the worst months in the history of the program because they wanted to. Like, I didn't understand that. I don't care. It's the holiday season. College football doesn't stop then.
Yeah, it felt like Alfred was in witness protection. Like
he really was.
Come on out and say something. You know,
and that's what's getting me as far as like, oh, you're just not donating because you're mad at Mike Norvell. I donated when it was bad in the end of the Bowden years, when Jimbo years we had our issues, Willie Taggart, because I never felt insulted as a fan, or I never felt that like my school didn't care. We may have not had the results in the field, but we were doing everything we could.
Yeah.
Right
And
now,
it
I
doesn't
don't
feel
feel
that
that
way.
way. So why would I give to that? And someone says, "Well, you're not going to help us get better." Well, I don't give enough to do that, but
Right.
I say, "All right, good." Like I'm at the point now. I want this admin to suffer. I want this coach to suffer, and that's terrible. It's mean. I just don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I know I sound
I'm
terrible there. I wasn't
It's
planning on
hard,
saying that.
man.
Like, trust me, if we start winning games, I would love to say, "Man, I was wrong about Mike.
Yeah.
Turned it around. We're going to be an ESPN 30 for 30 special.
Yeah.
We're going to be a case study for so many schools down the line."
Yeah.
Like 5-10 years from now, of how'd you go from undefeated to 2-10 to a coach that became like this? How do you deal with it? What do you do not to be like Florida State in this situation?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
are
like
that case, and our fans, we're living it now, so we don't see it that way.
Yep.
It's
You know
like
how like
15
when you
what's
if you
that?
do something dumb at work, they make a protocol for it or whatever. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is how we're gonna stop them from doing that again. It's gonna be like the Florida State coaching protocol. Like
Mhm.
this is how not to handle your
Like
coaching
the Dion
situation.
rule for
Exactly.
academics. We're going to be like
Exactly.
the Florida State, like
Yep.
like
Yeah.
GMs and everybody. Like, all right, let's just see what they did and make sure we don't do it. I'm
Exactly.
sure a lot are doing that now in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. I was looking at some of the portal guys we're looking at. Like, I don't think the Trey Wisner pickup was a bad pickup. I watched him in
No.
Texas. I liked him.
Yep.
I heard people say we're loaded at running back. We're not, because a bunch have left.
Yeah.
And
No, I like that.
always, and
I
I
like that
qualify
take.
now, is if you want to make a run in the playoffs, which I don't think we are next year, you need more bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes an attrition thing. Is Florida State wasn't built this year to have a long year.
No.
That's why I really, man, people got mad at me. I was on our friend's show on Garnet and Old, and when they were like really believing after Alabama, like, man, we could be a 9, 8, 9, 10 win team. And I'm like, I always tell people, man, just because you play like this in week 1 doesn't mean you're going to play like this in week 6 and week 7.
Yep.
And college football is week to week. I see some of the top media people in Florida State were like, "Oh yeah, we'll beat Florida because they look so bad against Tennessee." It doesn't matter how you play the week before; it's how you play that week.
Exactly.
So I have been the biggest proponent, proponent against Josh Storms. I can't stand the guy. I look at our players and they get flicked and they're down on the ground. And someone says, "Oh, but Jermaine Johnson and Jared Verse, those guys didn't matter."
They were freaks when they got here.
Those were freaks. These guys are just not built for a long run under this guy. Mike.
And we have so many injuries. And I know that's a big thing in football too, but it feels like we're one of the most injury-prone teams in the country.
Our clip is way too high.
Right.
And look at our body types are not Division I caliber. That comes from the off-season strength and conditioning program. Mike will fire himself before he gets rid of Josh Storms.
I was about to say the same thing. He's his guy, and he's been with him since day one. You will not see Storms leave until Norvell leaves.
No, Mike will run in front of a moving car before he fires Josh Storms.
Yep.
And people can think I'm kidding there. I'm really not, because I'll never forget Ira Chaffel actually asked him about him after last season. And the look he gave Ira.
Oh, yeah. That's his boy, man.
But that's why I don't think John Garrett can come in and say, "Who's your strength coach?" They don't look like, I don't think he's doing that. People are upset from the press conference yesterday about, well, Coach Norvell has final say in the players.
Yep.
Whether that's the case or not, Norvell was 20 feet away from him.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to say? No, they brought me in because he can't do it well, and that's why he can do that.
Exactly.
I understood that, and they said, no, we're not going to have a player that we don't decide on together.
Yeah.
That's not going to work either. People tend to have different opinions a lot.
Yeah.
Garrett will be better suited to say, I like this player too. I don't think he's worth the cost.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's better.
To
say, man, you see that in this quarterback?
Yeah.
That's where.
Yeah, he's got to be the value manager, right?
He's got to be the value
I
manager.
might like this guy, but that doesn't mean he's worth the price tag that we have to pay to get him. And I do like, I know people were disappointed about that. with him being in charge, and I was too, right? And I understand that the head coach has to have say in it. You can't
And
just
we don't know
completely
what's the
take his
case
hands
behind
off
the
the wheel.
scenes. Yeah.
Right. And I like the idea that you're going to have multiple eyes looking at the same player, and it won't just be their final say. So the coaching staff and stuff like that. So you have other guys doing that. So I think that's good. It's good to always to have checks and balances.
Yeah. And you need a Mike was surrounded by yes people for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever you want, sir. Or if you say he's good, he must be good. And we thought Gus would be that help there, but he really hasn't been.
No,
Mike can't be his boss. Mike just is not programmed to be Gus Malzahn's boss. That's still his mentor.
Yep.
I was curious how that would work out. I don't think it worked out well this year.
No.
I think Gus is only back this year because he didn't find something he wanted to do better. I think Tony White's only back this year because his stock dropped. Yep. That's why I'm not happy either. I thought these two guys were coming in to really help. I think they're coming back next year because money's good.
Yeah,
I don't feel like
we weren't going to pay their buyout, and they were kind of like, well, I'm getting overpaid and probably only got to stay another year or two anyway, so why not? And so I mean, I think that was one of the things I wanted to see from Gus was to him like really kind of rub off on how to recruit better and things like that for Mike Norvell, because he has that history in him. It may be behind him, but he's done it. And I know NIL it's a different time than when Gus was recruiting well, but I thought Mike in a CEO role would be okay, and it didn't really make much of a difference.
I was surprised when people thought he would be.
Right. Like I do like separating the contracts and stuff like that out of the coaching staff so they can focus on the field product, because it's just a lot, right? And that's no job for a head coach to be doing all of that stuff.
Mike has no business background, so therefore he should not be negotiating.
Right. They shouldn't be involved in that in the beginning.
Could you imagine the NFL if
Andy Reid is out here negotiating Patrick Mahomes' salary or what?
Yeah, I understand there have been the rare occasions where there's a coach / GM or here and there. 3 or 4 ever maybe, but
it's a good move to separate it. It's just it's hard to stomach.
Do you still want to know how much you're getting paid? He's like, oh
yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to stomach when you just like it's the guy who is kind of responsible for the downfall of the program is the one who still has the final say. I think that's kind of what went over so sour. It's like, man, we're still going to let him have the final say.
Yeah. I was uncomfortable when I heard that they were involving Norvell in the hire.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Like, you go sit in the corner and do something. Like, you're on timeout. And
that was my biggest disappointment.
Like, we're having this press conference only because I sucked the last 2 years. I mean, that's what it looked like. But Ralph has a good question. Do you guys think Alfred should just come out and say we're on a 3 to 4 year plan? I think that's a great idea, but I don't think
he never will.
I think he's on a 6-month. He wants if he could leave tomorrow. Yeah. He's gone. He's put his name out for like 7 schools.
If Oklahoma called him, he would probably go
there.
Back
where he started. Tomorrow. Yep. If USC calls tomorrow, he's there. I'm sure he's probably lowering his bar, and that's something I want to bring up to you is when people say to me, "Why do you really think Norvell has 2 more years?" Because I think they're lowering the goalpost for him. Mm-hmm. Last year they really went in thinking 7, 8 wins with this new coaching staff, with Deuce Robinson, Tommy, yada yada. Now, all right, 8's gonna be a little hard. We'll take 6.
Yeah. It's painful
because they lowered their
about.
expectations as the year went along. They just wanted to make a bowl game in their mind to shut people up, which I don't think it would have.
No.
So I think they've lowered the bar for Mike. He should be able to get 6 wins on a bad year at Florida State.
Yeah, you should never have a basement of 2-10. Never in 1,000 years. Like when you saw that and you were like, the first year, the COVID year, I can understand, right? You came in, you inherited a mess, you couldn't recruit. I get all that.
And it was a weird year.
Yeah. Right, I'll excuse that. But when you saw that 2-10 was in there coming off the seasons that they just had, that should have been your red flag right there. You should have had something in place. And I just don't think they're ever going to come out and say we're on a 3 to 4 year plan. Although I do agree with Ralph. I think that's kind of what the plan is. Because I don't think you can ever, as an admin, I don't think you can ever like visually give up on your head coach. You know what I'm saying?
No, and if your AD is looking to leave in the next hour, minute, if he could, if your president, chairman of the board of trustees has a year left there?
Yeah.
You can't think 3 or 4 years down the line. Maybe the new chairman comes in and has a completely different vision. And from my guess is McCullough, football's not really his thing.
No, he's an academics guy.
He's an academics guy. He's come from that world. I mean, he's got involved if he has to. Not done a very good job, but so that's why I think those guys aren't long term.
Yeah, but I do think Ralph is. I think he's kind of right in a way that they're doing it right, because you see him acquiring, TMH, and they're doing the things that are like aligning to leave the conference. They're building the GM office, so maybe right. They're doing they are operating like they're on a 3 to 4 year plan. It's just like, you just got stuck with part of your 3 to 4 year plan that you can't afford to get rid of. Which part of your 3 to 4 year plan would be to get rid of him if you could afford it? That's
I think of the gift right now, like. If you ask Alfred or Collins, like, hey, what do you think 4 years from now? I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Collins is an old through and through. Even if he's not the chairman, I'm sure he'll still be involved in some capacity.
Yeah.
Not a fan of him now. Trust me. The light can turn green, and I'll blame him for it not turning fast enough. He's in that boat with me too now.
I know it's so funny because it's always like, "Hey, good morning." Well, it would be a better morning if Mike Norvell wasn't my head coach. Like that's all you get on social media anymore.
Like that, and I don't know if he's gonna watch this or not, but he was like that last off season, half joking, half very serious. Like, how you doing? Will I be better if my quarterback wasn't 5'9" or 5'10"? That was
right,
him all off season.
So and it's true, and man, I'm so torn, right? Like as a Florida State fan in my heart of hearts, all I want is to win games, and I've said this from the day one, whether it's Willie Taggart, Jimbo, rehashing Jimbo, whoever, Mike Norvell, I don't care the name next to head coach for winning games. I really don't. I don't care who. I don't care. This is gonna sound crazy, but I don't care if it's Urban Meyer or Steve Spurrier. If we're winning 18 national championships in a row, I don't care, right? And so I want this team to win, but you're also in that conundrum where you're like, man, if we win, we're stuck with Norvell longer. And I think
what I'm like.
It's like, how do you
rip the Band-Aid off? As far as
you want to be happy and hopeful, but happy and hopeful leads you back to misery. Yep.
I'm thinking 5-10 years from now, even if we put it together for 1 year next year, I don't think he's capable of sustaining anything.
I don't either. I think you would be short-term gain for long-term pain.
Right, and I think his message resonated well in Memphis with those type of guys because he had that crazy mindset. These were undervalued guys because they weren't like P4 guys. These 5-star guys are like, who the heck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like that. I think the more we see out of him, the more he's really not the X's and O's guy that we thought he was.
Yeah.
I think the snub did break him. I watch him in games now. It shows he's been a whiny child since that.
Yep. And his message has fallen flat.
His message has fallen flat. He has to go in the portal every year and recruit a whole new team because his current team every year, at least by midway through the season, is going to be like, we're done with you.
Yeah.
So that's why even if he does go in the high school ranks and try that, those guys aren't going to be like, 2, 3, 4 years. This is our guy. We can't leave Mike Norvell. The only guys that are staying are the guys who probably couldn't get the opportunities elsewhere that they wanted. As far as like the high school guys.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I was really worried about Florida landing Lane Kiffin, because I was like, man, if you have those personalities in the state, like if you have Mario at Miami and Lane at Florida, and then you have Mike Norvell, who's
Brian Hartline
flailing, right? Like you're going to have he's going to have a hard time anyway, but like you're going to have a hard time. I want someone like, for whatever Jimbo was or wasn't, whether you like him or not, like the guy at least knew what it took to get to the top and be there. He won a national championship with Saban at LSU. He did it at Florida State. He, tutelage under Bobby Bowden. He knew what it took to build a championship level program. He was also intense. You ever go watch like the documentary on the 2013 season, and it's like, man, I'm ready to punch through my screen, like watching Jimbo and stuff like that, because he knows. And it's like, to me, Mike, the whole thing where it's like,
but Jimbo,
I know what it looks like. Well, do you though? Because you won the ACC in a down ACC year. You got screwed out of the playoffs. I'll give you that. But
when he said championships, I said, wait, championships?
People are going to be pissed because I'm hoisting a trophy. No, buddy, we are not pissed because you're hosting trophies. We're pissed because we can't even make.
Thank you.
We can't make a bowl.
Right. Name one fan of any team ever that was like, oh yeah, man, this conference title would be better, or this national championship would be better if the coach was cooler.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Even Florida fans I talked to who are rational were like, when I talk about Urban Meyer, they're like, we appreciate what he did, leaving the way he did, like past stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think they cared that he was the guy when they won and that they were breaking every rule and law in the world? No.
No. I'd love to see some more NCAA violations come out of Tallahassee. It means we're trying.
Funny, I know. I would love that right now. Let's just at least we're cheating. If we're cheating, then
Yeah.
we're trying to get better. But that's the thing is, Mike has played this nice guy approach. This I'm your buddy. It's bit him in the ass. It was cool the first couple of years. It worked. It worked at Memphis because those were guys who felt like they were overlooked.
Yeah,
a lot of them by the bigger schools. It just doesn't work. And then Aslan asking him a basic question, and he couldn't rely on a catchphrase or something. He can't answer those questions.
Yeah.
Now I think, and I'm going to say this now. I said I wasn't going to say it in there. I really think he has, at least on his own dime or through Jimmy Sexton, he's got PR people that
he
are
needs
in his ear. He does. No, but they're in his ear, not to help us, Florida State, to protect the money he has on the table. And they're probably saying to him, don't say this, don't say that.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a guy who is a puppet now up there. I don't think Florida State's saying, yeah, you go up there, you don't answer this, you don't say that. Like, they're not doing that. I think he's got a PR team, and him and his wife probably were like, we can set our daughter up for life, and an even better life. Let's not screw this up and get fired for cause. I'm sure the Brian
1,000%.
Kelly thing, even though it worked out in Brian's favor, there was issues about that. And the Sherrone Moore.
Yeah.
That probably, if he didn't have a PR team before that, I'm sure after Sherrone Moore, he was like, I don't want to make that mistake. Now, I don't think Mike's texting OnlyFans models during games. Like, I know he's not doing that.
Right.
But I think he's like, let me take every precaution so that doesn't happen to me. I have too much on the table.
Let me not risk that. The price of a PR firm is not worth the risk of the money that you got on the table.
58,
Right. And he needs it because it's just terrible, man.
But it's bad for us is because we have a coach who's up there and is so a shell of himself. He won't speak much. He won't. Yesterday at the press conference, he was like this and twitching. Now I understand he had recruits on campus. He wanted to deal with that more than than the press conference. That he probably should have said to them, "Why do I have to be there?"
Right. You're introducing.
I know they wanted a unified
front.
Here for? Yeah. I've been here for 6 years. They know me. Mike was answering questions as if he was on the ground floor there. I mean, the only time he really spoke. So I'm sure he didn't want to be there yesterday, and he made that very clear.
Yeah.
A couple times he was looking at his phone and texting. He never did that before.
No, and I've said for years, man, I honestly don't even watch coaching press conferences I probably haven't watched, but maybe one or two in the last 2 or 3 years.
They lie so much.
He's not going to tell you anything. Like, he's not going to go out there and be like, well, Tommy sucks at throwing the ball, so that's why we lost. What do you want me to do? Like, I'm not coaching him to miss the receiver. Like, he's never going to say that. So
no, but he misleads people. That upsets me. Like, back, and he's going to get a lot of carries this week, and then doesn't play.
He's a smoke blower. And then I don't need to hear or whatever it is 5 bajillion times. So, like, I just quit watching it, man. It's just,
I always try to glean one thing out of a press conference.
Yep.
Because even the elite coaches, like, they're pretty fair and honest. I was talking to an Ohio State guy because he was asking me how Norvell was at press conferences. So I asked him about Ryan Day. He's like, no, Ryan, he tells you what you need to know and this and that. Yeah. He never, I mean, it was funny when you talk to media from other teams, he could never understand how we were in the world where our media could watch practice, but couldn't report on anything. He's like, so basically he tells them that they can't do their job and dangles that. I said, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And that's the thing, man.
He goes, I couldn't deal with that as a media person at Ohio State.
Yeah. He doesn't give you anything in the press conferences. He's a terrible speaker in general. Right. And he hates it. And so it's like, what do I need to waste my time watching that for? Like, plus I've taken the approach with Norvell at this far into his tenure. Man, I'd rather you go media silent and let's just go prove it. Like, show me on the field what you're about. Nothing you're going to say at a microphone is going to sway me one way or the other. The only thing that's going to change my opinion on you is the win and loss column and the recruits that you sign, right? The talent that you bring in. That's the only thing.
For $10 million a year, I don't feel bad that you're
right. I don't need to hear it. But another
even Jimbo, who hated it and hated the media. Mike doesn't hate the media. Well, now he might. But Jimbo would still, if you got him twice in a week, or let's say maybe 2 or 3, whatever. At least one of those days, you were going to get some more stuff out of him than normal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you knew, okay, what Jimbo are we getting today? Sometimes you got the get out of here. I'm only here because I have to be. Sometimes he really would open up.
Yeah.
and talk more. Mike is just not that type.
Yeah. And you know, for Mike, man, like,
you think he
again,
might change his ways a little bit, as bad as he's been. But I
it's
think
rinse
that
and
PR
repeat.
firm has him so coached up now.
Yep. It's rinse and repeat. And, you know, again, man,
yeah.
I honestly
He's
like,
worse.
you know, the crazy, and I know it's for a completely different reason when you talk about on field, off field, and stuff like that. Like, you know, when Jimbo left to go to Texas A&M, man, he had to leave, right? All the things that were going on personally and professionally, and everything that had come unraveled at Florida State, he needed a
Both
fresh
parties
start.
needed that.
Both parties did, and honestly, it feels the same way now. It's just they can't come to terms on how they can have a divorce, right? We're going through like relationship counseling right now, trying to figure out that we know we're going to get divorced eventually. We're just trying to kick the can down the road. And that's the thing, is where it just feels like a bad situation to where I think Mike Norvell needs a fresh start. Like, imagine if he went back to Memphis. I think it would be great for him personally. And that's why I wish they could agree on a buyout number.
Or even if he went to be the OC at a pretty decent school.
Right. Because you can just see it in his face. He's aged. He doesn't want to be here. No, he doesn't. And you know, you look at the face of, like, one of the things I watched the other day when I watched Indiana absolute kick the crap out of Alabama. Cignetti's an assassin, dude. Like, you look at his face and he is just an assassin. Dan Lanning is a mental case. He is the same thing, and I love him for it. Kirby Smart the same way. And we got deer in the headlights Mike every single Saturday, and that's the part that drives me crazy.
And even through midway in the year, I was still like, well, at least he cares. I mean, not like I kept saying, even if he sucks, it won't be due to a lack of trying. Right. Now I'm changing my tune there. He does not want to be here. He's only here for the check. He's only here because there's too much money to lose. It's not. I'm
sure at some point he probably went, "Can you believe they haven't fired me yet?" Like, him and his wife at nighttime are probably like, they ain't fired me yet. I lost to Stanford. What are we doing?
He probably thinks he's like John Gotti before the third trial. Like, I'm
right. Like, I'm trying my best to get fired, and they won't do it.
I've done everything. I'm the first guy ever to come back at a major school in this situation.
Yeah.
Rylan Kennedy committed. That was expected. The guy from A&M, 3 sacks in 3 years. Awesome. That's the portal production we talked about. We were looking for. So yeah, I'm sure he is saying that. I'm sure his wife is like, "You're not doing this. You're not doing that. We have too much to lose." Also, she's smart, I'm sure. Yeah. So I'm sure between the PR firm, that's why we're getting also, like, even the interview he did in the Florida game this year, going into, I think, the fourth quarter. I understand he's in the middle of a game. It's a tough time to do an interview. Even the announcer said, "You're a broken record." And he mumbled through that, which is like a broken record, I guess. Yeah. So it's like, you're just an embarrassment, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
and I want it to work, man.
And I don't feel bad for him. Like,
yeah. I want it to work, not again, because it's just what's best for the program that I love. But I think, and this is my honest opinion of where we're at, like, it's not that Norvell, I don't want to say he's like just an awful coach. I think he's just because he did okay at Memphis, and I get all that. But I think he is so far. Like, I have, this is it's going to sound weird, but just follow me here. So I have some property where I live, and right next to it was 100 acres of timberland, right? And you go back in the woods, and you're like, I'm having fun, I'm walking around, and before you know it, you're like, I don't know which way I came in, right? And you're like, I can't find my way out of here, and I'm starting to get worried. Thank God I had GPS. Google Maps saved my day. I feel like Mike Norvell is so far in the woods right now that he can't figure out how to get out of it. And so that's why I think a fresh start is going to be best, because it's just, man, once you're so far lost in the mess, it's hard to find your way out of it. And I think that's just where he's at. He's just in over his head, and he's in the middle of the ocean doggy paddling, and nobody's coming to save him.
You could be a great coach, but a lot of these coaches, just at the current place they're at, they hit a wall.
Yep.
And they just mentally don't have it at that particular, but I could see him going somewhere else and not being bad.
Yeah.
The longer he stays here, I'm going to retract that statement more.
Yeah.
But I could see that.
Yeah.
Right now, I just think him and Florida State are just not
oil and water in a way.
They're not
a
match.
To go back. He needs to go. Honestly, he needs to go. Like, maybe he's a good coach, maybe he's not. I don't know. Time will tell with that. But I think you're right. I think he could have success somewhere else, but I think he needs to go back towards the G5 level, to where when you don't recruit overly well, it doesn't really matter quite as much, right? You still got to recruit well, but he recruits well on a G5 level. He just recruits at a G5 level at a P4 school.
And his message resonates more with those players.
Right. You're
It
exactly right.
does. Um,
Yep.
he doesn't have that, man, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna punch you in the mouth and F you up attitude like Signetti has also. Like you said, he's an
Yeah.
assassin. Mike doesn't
And
have that.
and even if, after the post Bama thing that came out with his speech and all that stuff, like that was great, man. It was great, but that doesn't mean anything after the 5th loss.
He
You know
also
what I'm
had
saying? Like
all off season to get ready for that.
exactly. Like he's
That
really, really
speech,
good in
that
games he
game.
had 8 months to prepare for. The problem
That's
is
what I
there's
told
11 more
people,
games
man.
after that.
Yeah. Talk to me when you have a week to get ready for a team.
Yep.
That's when he struggled at Florida State.
Yeah.
Our best
Yep.
wins are when he had LSU and Bama.
Yeah. Maybe we
And
just
a
need to play
Miami
in the
win here and
ACC.
Yeah, we play in the ACC.
Or the SEC, I mean.
Now,
Yes.
trust me, Jimmy Sexton already will have the university didn't support Mike stuff ready to go for him.
Oh, I'm sure.
If he ever did, I'm sure. So I'm prepared for that. But man, this has been fun. Therapeutic, man. I feel like I should send you a
for
therapy
sure.
bill. But Jesse, man, you want to talk about your show? Talk about your stuff, which is great, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. So we are Plant the Spear. My co-host Michael. He is obviously not on here, but we just dropped an episode literally like at 2:00 covering most of the updates. We've had 2 that dropped apparently just now that we didn't get to. But yeah, man, Plant the Spear, we're fans. We're like Jeremy. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. We ride this roller coaster together. We are not credentialed media or anything like that. But we try and be professional as we can, like a credentialed outlet, just from a fan perspective. And so we do have a website as well, plantthespear.com. You can find us over there, all of our stuff over there. I'm pretty slack about writing articles. I'm trying to get better about that, but we do drop a good bit of episodes too. So you can find us there, YouTube, social media, all that good stuff. We're there. So find us. We love Noel Nation. We love being a part of Noel Nation. And man, really appreciate you having me on. I always enjoy this.
It's long overdue.
I feel like this off season is like Florida State support groups. You know what I mean? Like we have to watch. I'm Jesse and I'm a Florida State fan. Yeah. Hi, Jesse. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like. But that's how we get through it, man. It's together.
Yeah. And listen, I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. If people come say you're just being super negative, so be it. I just gotta be me. But hey, if you ever see Jesse at a tailgate, like go up and say hi. He's just that dude.
Love it.
Yeah, he thrives in that world too. But he does a great job in his show because he really will break down stuff. And I like to think I've been watching Florida State long enough that it kind of takes a little bit to like get me say, oh, that was a good point. You do that a lot, man. Like I was driving back from the Winter Classic the other night, listening to your show.
I appreciate that, man.
Friday, and I was like, man, they're spot on. Him and you and Michael, man. And I'm not just doing this just to put you over like in the wrestling world. Like you and Michael do a great job playing off each other really well.
I appreciate that.
His co-host is fantastic.
We took a little break. I ain't gonna lie. We went on a little hiatus towards the end of the season because, like you said, everything was just met with negativity. But we're back now, and we're rolling in this portal season. Yeah, there wasn't. It was all negative anyway. So you were just going to be met with negative stuff.
Now, start of the year, you have to talk about it, good or bad.
Yep.
I still appreciate all these guys that are coming here in the portal. I don't know if we're overpaying or not, and if they can get it, so be it. When people say to me, Steph Curry makes too much, they gave it to him. What's he supposed to say? No.
I don't blame the kids. I don't blame the schools, and I don't blame the programs for if there's no rules in place. I don't blame the players for trying to get money. I don't blame the schools for spending more money than other schools because no one's going to police it. So why not? And
created Armageddon. What do you expect?
Exactly. And, unfortunately right now it's just the world that we're in. But I will say on, kind of a exiting note here is like you said, I do like Trey Wisner. I like that addition. Big fan of that addition. I know people think we didn't need a running back, but look, man, like you said, you got to be built for the long haul and you can't be scared of competition. Like if someone doesn't like it, too bad. I'm sorry. Like the one thing we
were 5-7 last year. I'm really not here for your feelings either.
Exactly. There's so many people who are like, from the fan perspective, that we're like so upset. Oh, we got 26 players going to the portal. I'm like, can we send 26 more? We went 7-17. Why are you mad at these guys leaving? Yeah. I hope we get all new players, outside of a few that some we retained, some we didn't. So, but I like that one. You got a couple offensive line commits. You're getting a defensive line commit. So you just need bodies right now. And unfortunately, we're not getting like high profile guys. But the Wisner kid, I think is a great take for me personally.
I was surprised, and he compliments Chroma well.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Singleton being the curveball off the bench.
I like that. Listen, he came here. He knew it. Like it was the quickest one of all of them, which was great.
So now the question is who's going to
ready to get to work. I know, but he's ready to get to work.
Yep, we got basically no offensive line, which I think we might have signed a starting center today. So,
because the misconception also is, in an exiting note, is that people are like, well, if they don't, because how it worked in the portal to begin with was they pretty much had to do it on the spot, or you weren't getting anyone. I think we're gonna start to get to where someone's like, yeah, I'm going to one or two other places. I still may be coming. I'm not saying that's the case with any of those quarterbacks. I'm just saying I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility these days where they're like, oh, let's go somewhere else. We might be able to squeeze them for a little more either way. So
you're right. And I think like with Wisner, man, if you got a good kid who's willing to commit, you got to take it right
Texas.
Now. Right. He was the leading running back from a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
Like if he's willing to come here, I don't care whether you need him or not. You take him.
And he was part of that Texas team the year before that had all those running back injuries that he had to come in.
Yeah.
Well, I watched him live. I watched him. I remember when they played Michigan and they just gave him the ball.
Yeah.
I understand Michigan's defense in 2024 wasn't great, but on the road, they just pounded him and he was great. And he's not like a bruiser. He's a make you miss kind of guy.
And he was on pace to hit 1,000 again this year. And he's a good all-purpose man. He had 44 catches in 24.
He's like a great guy, great for the locker room too.
Yeah.
We haven't had that in a while.
No.
I know Tommy did his job last year. Like people can say I'm negative. Like I don't think Tommy was a problem last year. There were moments where you're like, oh boy, if his ankle
was part of the problem. He was not
part of it,
problem.
But I don't think we like DJU the year before was the problem. Quarterback was the problem. I don't think we lost a lot of games because of Tommy per se as much.
Yeah.
He played hard.
And he was what you expected him to be.
He was what he was. He did care. He did. And I understand we're not paying you to be a nice guy. But he did, like the locker room did respect him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Which we hadn't had a quarterback since Jordan. So that's why. But man, thank you so much for coming on.
Definitely.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Jesse, Michael do a great job. We got to do this again sometime, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. We need to get like definitely more collaborations, more roundtables or something
that's
like
one
that.
of my actually, I'm glad you said that. That's one of my goals for this year is to get more of a roundtable because no fan base is going through it like we are. And if we can get it, and if we can get it from 6 different perspectives, I think that'd be really cool too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. We
set that up
as I don't. I hate calling us media members, right? But as I guess de facto media members, buddy, we have been through it in our short amount of time of recording. We have been from 13-1 to 2-10.
I started after that, so it was like,
oh man, I feel like I've aged 90 years of media life in the last 5 years we've been doing.
I know. I feel like Mike is like making this even harder for me. Like the Rock and Roll channel, it's like, man,
I know. It's killing our growth.
Go to Tallahassee for a game next year.
Yeah,
I'm at that point because I don't want to give money to this admin. Like that's how bad. Like I'm planning on going to hopefully right now Alabama because I want to see Tuscaloosa for a game. Ralph, why he's making the trip. We'll talk about a diehard, but he's made it hard. I mean, but you know what? I still have fun at the games.
Yeah,
I had a blast in Raleigh.
The only reason I'm probably going to the couple games that I'm going to next year is because I love the crew that I tailgate with, and so that's why I'm going. Yep.
That's why when people say to me, "Should I go to games?" I don't really. You're gonna have a good time.
Oh, you're gonna have The
old days you couldn't enjoy it unless you won. I'm past that. I had a blast. I had people say to me, "You were brave for going to Raleigh." Why? Because I had a great time tailgating. I got to go to a night game where it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Tell me where the weather was gorgeous that night. Tell me the bad part. Yeah, the team, but we were at that point anywhere we knew. I saw a ball hit off a guy's head. I'd never seen that before. Like, good times.
We've never win at Raleigh. Did you expect to go in there and win? No, but we had a good time. You know what I mean? And
tailgate was awesome.
Yeah, and of course the epitome is Bama, right? The epitome is Bama. Anytime you win, you storm the field, all that stuff. That's crazy. But it doesn't mean you still can't have fun with your people. You know what I mean?
I still had fun Miami weekend when I was up there. I got to see you for a bit. Like, I still have fun at these games. Yeah. And it's funny, like, now doing these travels to other games. Yeah. You learn and you see things more, and a lot of people will come up and ask me about Florida State. What's going on? Tell me about it. Like, we're still on people's minds, which is cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
not
on the away games, too. I love seeing everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that. Like, and I look at so many things and say, well, I wish Doak did that, or I wish Doak did this. Certain little aspects here and there. I don't bring it up in the vlog because I don't ever want to come across if a fan of another
condescending. Yeah, you're not me. I'm in there like, this ain't as cool as the war chant.
I'm not here to compare and contrast. I'm just here to take the
yeah,
experience. But like,
yeah,
yeah, sometimes from a music standpoint or from like a big screen atmosphere, yeah, like seeing Michigan in that and seeing NC State, their opening was really cool. That was the
yeah,
reason I wanted to go last minute was I wanted to see it at night, really.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
was awesome.
great time, great time. But Jesse, thank you again for coming on. Uh, Everybody in the chat, Michael, Ralph, Sharon, Ed, uh, all of you. No, Chris, my buddy Chris, thank you so much for jumping in. This was a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much.
Definitely appreciate you having me on, man. Always enjoy it.
I appreciate you coming, brother. Go Knowles, no matter what, man.
Go Knowles,
I'd
baby.
rather lose
Always.
a Knoll than win as anybody else, man.
You got that right.
All right, buddy. Take care. Go Knowles.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.